we start to understand that our feelings are rooted in not being in pure time presence. But the second thing that is unique to humans about the central nervous system, not so much about the central nervous system, about, let me say it this way, about the ways that we mask our authenticity. This is super important. All feelings are valid, all of them. All feelings are important information. So, and they speak into what actually is my truth. So what we do is we notice that we have this feeling. And by the way, we can now start to discern that maybe that feeling is kind of in the heart, maybe that feeling is kind of in the gut, but we start to notice we have this feeling. But you know what we do? Instead of honoring ourselves in the form of our emotional guidance system, instead of that, we shut ourselves down. We mask our authenticity and we say, here it is, I shouldn't feel that way. I should just be happy. I shouldn't feel that way. I should just be grateful. And most especially, even though I feel this way, I shouldn't say anything about it. So we literally mask our authenticity and hold ourselves in a place of unhappiness because of fear. Now, why, if something is not okay with us, why are we not able to connect to our truth, come from love, and feel safe to say? And I want to actually unpack each one of those things because they all mean something and matter. Connect to our truth means honor that feeling, listen to our energy center that tells us, I'm very aligned with this. It makes me happy. It feels natural and comfortable for me versus this is not okay with me. I don't like this. It's not who I am. It's not what I choose. We don't listen to our feelings. So we need to connect to our truth, which means listen to our feelings and care about how we feel, care about ourselves as much as we care about the one with whom we're sharing what's an extraordinary truth, which is what I call the ones that are the hardest to speak into. So number one, to connect to your truth, to feel your feeling, understand your feeling, care about your feeling. And when I say come from love and feel safe to say, the reason I say come from love is because remember when I said to you, and this is not limited to women, this is people in general. Sometimes people are so uncomfortable speaking into a truth that they feel that they have to muster up some combative energy. Like they let it build, they let it build, they let it build, and then they blow. They blurt it out, or they talk a little too loud from a room away so that they'll be overheard, or very indirect, they tell someone who they know will tell someone. Do you see how indirect we are? Because we're uncomfortable with honesty. What in the world? Because honesty is the deepest form of intimacy. I want to stay right here at the throat. And I said to you, connect to your truth. I'm pointing to my heart here. Connect to your truth, come from love, and feel safe to say is the way. Remember, I told you we would circle back around, is the way that honesty is the deepest form of intimacy. So let's say that you are speaking into a truth with your partner, either about caring about your needs, and there's something that you really want that you're afraid to say, and the need's not being met. Or the opposite, something's not okay with you and you're afraid to say. And by the way, why are people afraid to say? They're afraid to say because they're afraid they might lose something. That is what it is, but that comes in many different forms. Sometimes you're afraid you're going to lose what you perceive of as stability and or security, whether it's within a job setting, whether it's within a relationship setting. And when you are deeply rooted in a place of familiarity, like a relationship or a family environment, then this is such an important part of your identification, self-identification, that you can't imagine losing that sense of who you are, who you identify as in the context of that workplace, that family, and so on and so on. So sometimes we're afraid of losing stability, security. So, oh, I just won't say anything. Sometimes we're afraid of somebody else's response to our truth, somebody else's anger, somebody else's disapproval. What we're afraid of is their response, that it might change the way that they perceive us. So we just don't say anything. And sometimes we're afraid of losing an aspect of ourselves that we value by speaking into a truth. So it gets pretty tricky, but there is only one reason. Okay, there's only one reason why we don't connect to our truth, come from love, and feel safe to say, and that's fear. So when we're going back again and again to throat chakra, I like to call this what I'm going to call spiritual integrity. And here's what I mean by this. And here's how you can really kind of discern in that throat chakra if it's open, if it's balanced, if it's blocked. How many times do people think one thing and say something different, or think one thing and don't say it, or say one thing and do something different, right? So these are all indications of kind of a blocked or imbalanced throat chakra. Spiritual integrity in your life would look like everything I've said. Let me paint a beautiful picture here. Caring about how you feel enough to pay attention to your feelings, connect to that truth, come from love, and feel safe to say, so that the thoughts and the words and the actions are all in harmony. They're in integrity. They match. So, and I also did want to, you can just see how much is going on here. We can have this much conversation about each and every one of the chakras. I want to tell you also that when you are connecting to your truth, coming from love, and feeling safe to say, then your partner or anyone with whom you're able to express such a high level of, such a high way of being honest. And by the way, from your self-respect, from your self-love. And by doing it this way, connecting to the truth, coming from love, and feeling safe to say, you're showing them your respect. You're showing them your love.